Welcome back to Forming a Franchise. My name is Rick Porter, and today's episode we're going to be talking about how you can pivot your business when you need to. And 2020 coronavirus is definitely a good reason to pivot your business. So guys, obviously 2020 has brought us a whole bunch of curveballs, coronavirus being the absolute biggest. The coronavirus may or may not be winding out, but we do think there's going to be some long-term effects. People are talking about recessions. No matter what you say, there's trillions of dollars that were lost, and there's going to be an impact. So most businesses, if not all businesses, need to take a look at their day-to-day functions and begin to pivot. Cinch IT is no exception. We launched our franchise in July of 2019. We've done very well so far, but now we're in new times. I'll give you a great example. Discovery days are the last step in the sales process typically for our franchisees. They learn about us, they get copies of the FDD, they get opportunities to ask questions, they choose their territories, they validate with our existing businesses, and ultimately they fly up here to Massachusetts, they meet with our management team, they get a tour of the building, they get to ask questions in person, and then we sign the deal and they become a franchisee. That is typical. With the coronavirus threat that's out there, nobody's traveling. And if nobody's traveling, nobody's doing discovery days. And if nobody's doing discovery days, we can't sell franchises. That's just the problem. So we've identified the problem, and now we have to work that problem. So here at Cinch IT, one of the things that we've started to do is come up with ways to host discovery days virtually. I'll show you exactly what we came up with. Follow me. So the biggest challenge is that franchisees can't physically come to us. That's the challenge, and now we have to work that problem. So during a discovery day, we typically go over, again, competitive differentiators. We give a tour of our building. They meet with each one of the management team in a private one-on-one situation. It's almost like an interview between the two of them to decide whether the management agrees that we should award this franchisee, and the franchisee is also vetting us as well. Is this the leadership that I want to lead my company and the brand into the future? We go over Q&As, over the franchise agreements, any documents, anything whatsoever, and then ultimately we're signing the documents and beginning to move forward in our relationship. So the challenge is taking that entire day and allowing it to be virtual. Here's what we've done. We created a website for our discovery day. We invite the potential awardee to a virtual meeting. We happen to use Microsoft Teams. They'll do it from the comfort of their home. We can do it from our home, from our office, from anywhere at all. You could even do it on your cell phone if you wanted to. We're bringing them to a website, literally described as Discovery Day. We go through a video that talks all about our secret sauce, what makes our franchise so great, what makes us stand out, what is our competitive differentiator, why should you buy that brand. We review the agenda for the day, and then we start with a virtual tour. And this is probably the first and biggest step that we had to take in virtualizing our experience. We don't want anybody to be slighted at all doing it virtually versus in person. So what we did is we actually hired a company to come in and film a 3D virtual tour. So when you click on this, it will actually bring up a virtual tour of our entire building, and I'll show you guys roughly what it looks like. So if you come in here, you have a couple different features. One, you have the ability to look at the entire building in a 3D sense, okay? I'll show you exactly what these look like. You can actually turn it around. You can see it from the top down. We have 3 floors at our building. So the top floor is admin, sales, some training, marketing. On the second floor is mostly our help desk, another training center, some conference rooms, and another help desk in our network operations center. And on the third floor is actually our warehouse. So you can actually see a little bit of the warehouse down here. Okay, so this is a pretty cool 3D view that allows them to control it and allows us to control it, and you can see all angles of the building. Specifically, we can start floor by floor and show them exactly what we're looking at. And they can actually take a walk through our building. So right here, if we start on the outside, this is actually our front lobby, okay? And just like Google Maps, for example, you can actually just take a tour through the building. You can come on in and visit our help desk. This is one of our help desk teams. So you can see the facility, you can see the guys, you can see little pictures of them on the wall. You can see a lot about our culture by simply taking a tour around. See a little bit of our metrics, a little fun that we have. This is actually the Hulk desk. Okay, that's the name of this team. Guys, we're an IT company. We realize it's a little nerdy. There's one of the break rooms. You can come all the way in here. This is our director of support, his office. You can take a tour through some knock environments. You can take a tour into the second help desk. So this is another one of our help desk areas. So you can take a tour. This is the Thor desk. And you can see some of the guys. Obviously the building, we filmed it while the building was empty, obviously, but you can just see a lot of the information that's available. The interesting part is you can also jump up to different floors. So I'm gonna go to the basement for a second here. So this is actually our warehouse, and you can come in here and you can tour the warehouse. You can see virtually what the warehouse looks like. This is us. This is our logistics manager, Greg, who's down here, and you get to see just a little bit about the warehouse. Not much to look at, obviously, just a bunch of products, laptops, desktops, monitors, things like that are shipping from here on a regular basis. But you can physically walk and tour the area. We go all the way up to the third floor. I'm gonna go to the third floor. We're gonna end up in a weird spot over here, but this is actually my office. Okay, so we're on the third floor now. You see my kids over here in the corner, and you see the office. Okay, you can tour. Let's go out to the reception area on the third floor. So they can actually walk through and they can tour. This is our reception area right here. You can come into the conference rooms and you can start to look around at one of the conference rooms over here. You can even read, I mean, it's so important. You can even read some of the awards that are on the wall. Best of Business Awards, the MSP 501, the Fastest Growth 150, the Inc. 5000 Awards. So you can actually read the awards on the wall. There's nothing you miss virtually that you don't get. You can even go into, this is one of our war rooms. You can actually see, this is I'll go in here. This is a training center, so you can actually take a look around at one of the training centers. You can see floor to ceiling whiteboards where we're actually, training and teaching our guys. And you can continue the tour. So this is one of the ways that we've allowed our franchisees to actually still conduct a virtual tour. Again, they get to see the culture, they get to meet everybody, and they get to have that entire experience. Next, as they scroll down in the typical agendas, they would meet with our staff. So this is an opportunity to meet with each one of the management teams. They'll meet with Morgan Hill, our Director of Support, Mike Mosier, our Director of Technology, Jack Wilson, our Director of Franchise Development, and myself. When they click on each one of these, it will open a private one-on-one virtual meeting between the franchisee and the management team. It's actually a video tour, so they'll be able to see us, we'll be able to see them, and we can have a conversation. After every single one of those conversations, then we move into Q&As. Okay, when we get to the Q&A section, we're able to bring up documents so we can get digital signatures if we need to. Again, a video conference so that you can see each other face to face. You can essentially look each other in the eyes while you ask these questions to each other. And then we wrap up our day. So we ourselves as a business have had to pivot. Okay, we cannot host virtual Discovery Days in person right now, and if we can't host Discovery Days in person, then we have a hard time selling franchises. Okay, so we've pivoted. We've adjusted our business model in order to allow virtual Discovery Days for the time being, so that we can still continue to sell and open franchises. It is very important for us to open franchises in these times because the coronavirus has brought a surge of new business to us because we're an IT company. We're blessed, we're incredibly fortunate to have that situation, but customers are looking for IT companies yesterday to help them work remotely, to work on business continuity plans, and that's exactly what our franchisees are able to do. So though you might not be interested in buying a a restaurant concept right now because the restaurants are closed, and that makes perfect sense. And now's a great time to buy an IT franchise. And so we're continuing that process. Just an example of how we pivoted. In a little bit, we're actually be hosting a webinar with the Regional Chamber of Commerce, where we're going to be teaching other businesses how they too can pivot, how they can work from home, some free or affordable tools that are easy to use that allow them to work remotely as well. So we'll bring you along, we'll let you see a little bit of that webinar, and hopefully you guys learn some stuff too. If your business is struggling right now, I highly encourage you to identify what the challenge is and then work that problem. Pivot your business. I've had yoga companies call me up and say, I'm going to close down my doors, nobody is physically coming in, I'll have no revenue. And we've helped them pivot their business so that they can host virtual in-home classes. We've had liquor stores that said, I have to close down my business. We've brought their entire store onto an e-commerce platform where you can purchase the liquor and you can get curbside delivery or at-home delivery. There's lots of options for you to still make revenue. It just takes a little bit of creativity and thinking outside of the box. Hopefully this sparks some ideas in your head for how you can pivot your own business. So we'll check you guys out in the webinar in just a little bit. Hopefully that helps, guys. Talk to you soon. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. And today's webinar is all about easy to use and affordable tools that you can use to conduct business virtually while you're at home. The poll is basically asking what type of technology that you're currently struggling with from home, whether it's phones, whether it's virtual meetings, sharing files, managing projects, or other software. We're always trying to look at the silver lining. Here's your chance to go paperless. Most importantly, within Teams, you're able to host virtual meetings. Teams, Slack, Zoom, all three of them are great products. They all are pretty low cost and easy to use tools. Well, that's the end of the webinar. Hopefully the webinar was useful for you guys as well. The best way to really recap this video is, businesses right now have to pivot. We have to make changes to our day-to-day businesses, whether that's virtual meetings, whether that's collaborating with coworkers or people from all over the country. Face-to-face meetings just can't happen. So we have to pivot and utilize tools that you have in order to do that. I showed you examples how we pivoted our franchise company today. We showed you some examples on the webinar of how we're helping our customers pivot and use technology in order to continue doing business. Hopefully that stuff was helpful for you guys. As an IT guy, I'm trying to help the best way I know how, and that's to offer free advice and guidance to businesses that are out there. That's it, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully this was useful.
I love the journey of a real challenge, the Ironman. It inspires me to reimagine my own limits and to push myself further than ever before. The Ironman is a statement of excellence, passion, and commitment. It's a test of physical toughness and mental strength. It's about enduring and persevering.